We unfortunately have to start off with the season 4 opening episode of the Trump Presidency because he just doesn't disappoint, does he? We had the ultimate cliffhanger at the end of season 3 last year with his impeachment, and literally within the first few days of 2020, we're already talking about him, getting into war with Iran, targeting this Soleimani guy, or whether he was targeted or whatever. The amazing thing is that from what I understand, when they were presenting the options to him, the killing of this guy was considered the most extreme option. At least that's what was described, and then that was meant to be there to sort of highlight that the other options were better. And as just about everyone said in the aftermath of it, including a lot of very witty comedians, you never give Trump the most extreme option because that's the one he's going to take. And that seems to be the one he's taken. And it's just, I'm sitting here sort of half smirking and laughing. It's not funny because, they came pretty close to some. And what I find actually even more astounding is that Iran responded with the traditional. It's almost like they didn't know what to do because they weren't expecting it, and they went with the proportional response, hoping there wouldn't be further retaliation. Because
the eye for the eye.
Yeah, because it can't be an accident that their retaliation, the attack that they didn't kill any Americans. That can't be an accident either.
Yeah, look, I think you've hit the nail on the head. There's almost a satirical element to this, away from the big seriousness of it. And look, I don't think that there's much more we can add to that. But on the more satirical side, whatever you think ethically of the actions, Trump has shown again that he's just capable of breaking deadlocks, breaking rules, and progressing situations. And really the outcome where he threatened, there was a retaliation, and then he's done the usual Trump thing, which is, okay, let's leave it at that and move on. That's a whole new way of world politics and world conflict. And maybe it's a better way than just letting the pressure build through the appeasement that we've seen in the past. But only history will be able to tell in another 10 years. Hopefully we'll still be here to make a verdict.
There seemed to be a part of this that almost seemed like that everyone else is afraid of what Trump is doing. And they're like any response that they have, they can't do the traditional response with a typical US president because they know how a typical US president would respond. But like you said, breaking through the deadlock seems to be coming. I don't know how intentional that is on his part, of course, but it seems like he's such a loose cannon in that respect that they really don't know how he would respond.
Well, it's interesting. I think you hit the nail on the head with people are afraid of him, and I think people on Trump's side are afraid of him. His opponents are afraid of him. Everyone who doesn't think exactly like him tend to have a bit of fear, and the reason for that is that it's hardwired into our human systems that when we can't predict a situation or what someone's actions might be, it triggers a fear response in us. And I think that's really the key to Trump's power, is that he manages to make people uncertain through his unpredictability, and that tends to allow him to win. And it's probably worked in business, and it's now working in politics, and I guess it's now working in policy circles almost. It's quite unprecedented.
Obviously it was an effective distraction from his current domestic woes as well. I don't know if he really would have put it on as something deliberate, of course, but we're only talking about him potentially going to the impeachment trial in the Senate as early as next week, if possible.
Allegedly, we've seen previous presidents under impeachment allegedly do the same thing.
What was that movie called? Wag the Dog?
Wag the Dog, which was even before that, but referring to Clinton and the Balkans while he was being impeached. So is it something out of a standard playbook, but with a bit of a Trump flair, or is it just that the fact that the world's gone crazy?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both, potentially. All right, we'll move on from that. We're going to keep checking in with Trump this year because obviously it's going to be a massive story all the way up until November when the election finally gets here. And I predict a very unpredictable ride in that regard.
Well, Facebook, just on that, Facebook has come out and said that they're not going to ban political advertising. For me, that's just a can of worms for them.